Let's go to a place where maybe people aren't good. Let's go to the parole board.
22nd. The time is 9:06. My name is Carolyn Stapleton. I'll be the chair of the panel today. My colleagues are joining us by Zoom, Mr. Steve Prater and Ms. Jerry Ledoux. Is there any staff where you're at, sir, at Orleans Parish Prison?
One house right outside the door.
Pardon?
They got one outside the door.
Okay. They're right outside the door. They can come in and introduce themselves for the record.
Yeah, you want me to call them in?
That's okay. Normally they're inside. Okay. Well, will you introduce yourself and DOC number for the record, please?
My name is Sean Dennis. My DOC number is 729-679.
Okay, and to repeat, our remote location is at Orleans Justice Center. Do you have a questionnaire in front of you, sir?
A questionnaire, no ma'am.
Yeah, they'll put it up on the screen.
What you say, ma'am?
They're gonna put it up on the screen.
Yeah, I have that paper. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have that paper.
Okay, well, based upon your answers to this questionnaire, you are not eligible today for appointed counsel. All right. You have people here today in support of you. A Miss Miguel, and then a Miss Judy Palmer, which is your mother. The person taking lead for your case today is Miss Jerry Ledoux. She will answer your question. She will ask you the questions on your revocation sheet. You will answer guilty or not guilty, with or without a statement. Ms. Ledoux, did you want him to start off with his support first?
No, ma'am. I'd like to get the pleading out of the way. Mr. Dennis, I'm going to read the allegations against you and then give me a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Condition number 4 says you failed to refrain from criminal activity. You were arrested 8/29/25 by NOPD and booked with domestic abuse battery, with child endangerment, that there were marks on the victim's body. And on 10/28/25, the charges were refused because the victim recanted. So what is your plea to that?
Not guilty.
Number 6, you failed to work at a job that was approved and you could not provide evidence of employment. What is your plea?
Not guilty.
Number 10, you are currently behind $758 paying your fees for the Department of Correction. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. So you had a job?
Yes, ma'am.
And your parole officer knew you had this job?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it a job that you got a paycheck for?
Yes, ma'am.
So why would he say you didn't have a job?
I don't have no idea, ma'am. I was working at the Blue Crab on the lakeshore front. Lakeshore Drive. I was working at the Blue Crab. And he knew I had a job.
Okay, and you're not behind in your fees?
Yes, I'm behind on my fees, man.
Why did you plead not guilty?
Because at the same time, like it's like I was paying bills, I was providing for myself at the same time. It wasn't that I wasn't trying to pay him, but it was like, it's hard out there and I wasn't getting paid that much.
Wasn't like you were not trying to pay them, you didn't pay them though, right?
I couldn't pay him. I'd have been homeless at the same time.
Okay. The victim of this crime is on with us today, and I would like to have Miss Miguel speak to the panel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You need
What
me
would
to
you
make?
like to say?
I was just wanted to say that it was a misunderstanding. First of all, it was a little. It started off as just a heated argument. He did grab me, but it wasn't to hurt me. I don't feel he would hurt me. I've been dealing with Sean for a while now, and this is the first time it ever got that escalated to where we had to even get call the police or anything like that. And it wasn't intentional that I felt it like I was upset. I was just upset, and emotions and passion. When you're upset, your adrenaline rushes. It just was a misunderstanding. As far as the child endangerment, my daughter was not present for the physical when he grabbed me. She was not there with that. She just was there present when the argument. She entered the room when the argument was escalated. That was the only involvement she had. Um, as far as Sean, he was working. And also he was supposed to start CDL classes with Job One this January, and he was starting that process as well. He was doing good. I didn't want this situation to defer him from being on the right track because he was.
So did you file a police report? Because
No, it
I
wasn't. It
watched the
was.
video.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't.
watched
It
the
was. I
video.
was upset, and he grabbed me. It was aggressively, but it wasn't to where it hurt me. I didn't explain everything at that moment because I was just frustrated and just wanted to just of him to just go at that moment. But I wasn't trying to. I did want him to leave, but I did. He did grab me, but I didn't want. It wasn't to where he tried to physically hurt me. He didn't hit me or punch me or anything of that nature.
And they said strangulation. So
He grabbed. Well,
what?
he grabbed my shirt, and I did have a mark, but two a day or two before that, I was on in the car with a friend, and she had to do a sudden stop, and the seatbelt was around my neck, and I did have a little line going down my neck, and I that probably by me not explaining that because in the heat of the moment that wasn't running through my head. I think that was documented as if he just grabbed the top of my shirt, and it wasn't like a strangulation. It was just a grab and and lift me up. It wasn't a hit or anything of that nature.
Okay. We also have Judy Palmer, your mother. Ma'am, if you'd like to make a statement to the panel. I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good.
I just wanted to reiterate, Sean was on the right path. He was working at the time this incident happened with him and his fiance, which I don't know what happened, what transpired because I wasn't there, but I'm speaking on his behalf that he was working. And before then, I moved to Texas, and when Sean, I spoke with his parole officer, stating to try, to get him out the environment, living in New Orleans because he no longer have like immediate relatives that he can stay with, like for as me, so he can start all over again. His parole officer gave him a hard time stating that he has to stay in Louisiana, and that's the reason why he's still in Louisiana, trying to work. But he's been working, he's been trying to be a model person living in society and, working. Like, I don't know why his parole officer know he had a job. So I don't know why he put that in documentation that he was not working. And, working for a certain company, you don't get paid that much money. And, he even iterated, I told him myself, if I have to, I probably can help you, sometime, pay your fee. But at the time, I'm struggling. He's trying to, start over in society because he's really starting over. So it's not like that he's gonna be able to like pay everything out or give him a big payment. But he was on the path of trying to, pay this his parole officer money. but he was working and stuff. The parole officer knew he had a job, and he was trying to be a model citizen. After they released him.
Okay. I will let you know it's not the fault of the parole officer that he couldn't go to Texas. There's certain process. Um,
I know.
Mr.
I'm sorry, but I had spoke with the Department of Texas, and he would say they had told me the process and everything.
Okay, good. Okay. Mr. Dennis, have you started an interstate compact to go to Texas?
No, I never received one. Me and my parole officer talked about it. He was saying that he had to send paperwork off to Texas and then take up to 2, 3 months for it to happen, for the impact to happen.
Okay, so did you pay the fees for the interstate compact to be initiated?
He never told me about a fee for interstate compact.
Okay. Where do you want to live?
Huh?
Where do you want? Huh?
Spring Rain, Texas.
So, so what is your relationship currently with the victim?
Well, that's my child's mother. At the time, man, and I love her. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in love with her. So, man, we fuss and whatnot, but at the end of the day, like this, I love her.
Okay, so here's the dilemma. If you go to Texas, you can't come back and forth between Texas and Louisiana without permission. So where do you want to live?
Texas.
Texas. Okay. Well, okay. I feel like I know what I'd like to do. So, I'd entertain my colleagues to ask any questions they may have.
Mr. Prater?
Okay, Miss Miguel, is that the way you say your name?
It's Miguel.
Miguel? Miss Miguel,
Yes.
tell me, I'm just curious about the fact, according to the report, you said you told the police he choked you till you almost passed out.
Well,
And
no,
they,
I remember, well, I recall when he asked me, did I lose conscience or anything? I told him that it wasn't aggressive. I mean, it wasn't forceful enough for me to lose conscience. He just grabbed me.
but that's not what the report says you told the police.
Well, I don't know if they misunderstood, but my initial conversation that I remember with them, they asked me specifically, did I lose breath or anything? And I described that I didn't. It wasn't enough force for me to lose breath or pass out.
Okay, so you got the marks. You got the marks on your neck and all that from a car wreck?
Now I had one line. It was I was in a car and they made a sudden stop and the seatbelt was pressed on my neck. But it wasn't a mark. It was just that mark on my neck, a line going down.
From a day or two before.
Yes.
Was it a car wreck or just stopped at a
No, it was
stoplight?
almost. It could have been, but good thing she was vigilant enough. She was able to stop it. But it came pretty close to where
Okay.
the seatbelt was pretty, tight around me.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Well, I'm just gonna follow Mr. Prater for a moment here. They had body camera on you. They were videotaping everything you said. So we know exactly what you said to the police officer. And it was that no, he did not choke you to unconsciousness, but yes, he was strangling you. And then the other thing was the child. The child was in the video trying to explain what she had seen also. So everything now that you're discounting was exactly what the police officer wrote in his or her report, and it backed up what the body camera showed us you saying to the police officer. So You are telling a very different story than what you told them.
Well,
Um,
I'm not. I probably was more as far as my daughter saying what she was just expressing when she saw the verbal. She didn't see anything physical. She didn't express anything physical. And as far as me not explaining, I maybe was not verbalizing myself at the moment because I was upset, but I did let them know that I wasn't unconscious. He did grab me by my shirt, and the shirt was around my neck, but his hands didn't physically go around my neck.
no, you did answer that. You said that he did not strangle you to unconsciousness, but that he strangled you, but not to the point of
Yeah,
unconsciousness.
that's what I said. I probably
And,
miss
and choking you, and that's what's in his report. So his report is accurate. So really, based upon what you're telling us now about a seatbelt being around your neck, and none of this really happened, is contrary to what you told police officers who were called out to your house last night and fearful someone was being injured.
well,
And
I'm not
possible.
saying that nothing didn't happen. I did I just wanted to state the fact that I I didn't say about the seatbelt or anything at that moment with the cops
Uh,
because it was a heated moment and I that wasn't on my mind firstly. And secondly, I'm not saying a different story because everything happened. It wasn't as intense as I probably was very upset. So it was more, I probably described it as a little more intense than what it was because I didn't want this to defer him because it wasn't a situation to where I was, he's violent towards me on a daily basis. This is a norm for me. That's why I just wanted to express that because I don't want that to be a factor of him not being able to be free because that didn't happen that way. I just wanted to convey that. That's why I came because I didn't want that to be a factor in him not being able to continue to do what he was
okay,
doing because he
I
was
got
doing.
you. I got you. I'm going to pass it to Miss Ledoux so that she can speak. And
I'm gonna go ahead and vote because I do believe that there were some violence. The charges have been dropped. My vote today is in lieu of revocation to send you to the domestic abuse battery program within the confines of the Department of Correction. And that will give you an opportunity to start your interstate compact to go to Texas so that you would have no contact with your victim and supervised transfer for your child so that you can see your child, but with no contact with your victim. And so that's my vote today.
So you're revoking my parole?
Okay, so the term is in lieu of revocation. It means you're not totally revoked. You would stay in the Department of Corrections custody until you've completed a 6 month, it's about 6 months, domestic abuse battery program. And then you would be released. And I am hoping that you have your interstate compact taken care of by then, but that you would have no contact with your victim.
Mr. Prater,
Hey, that sounds reasonable. My initial thought was to go ahead and revoke him because I think that lady's lying. And in fact, I think it's pretty evident that she's lying. And I think he's got violent tendencies, but maybe this domestic abuse battery or this will help him by going through this extended period of incarceration. So I concur with Ms. Ledoux, bottom line.
I also concur with Miss Ledoux because certainly I agree with Mr. Prater also. So as of today, sir, you have been in lieu of revocation, you will be enrolled into the it's a long-term program up to 26 weeks, domestic violence vendor program. And then you would have no contact with your victim. So this concludes your hearing at 9:26.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from TCF Live. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can join us weekdays live, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, right here on this channel.